Shalom Akim, Shalom Akwathiam. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Radash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. We needed to hide. I was taking the time to re-listen and revisit this man's dream here that he had regarding the MOTB. All right. Now, I'm going to play what he had to say in its entirety, but he outlines and goes into very descriptive and or great details regarding what he experienced in this dream. And his dream was regarding when the MOTB, as outlined in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th through the 18th verse, and the MOTB is the mark of the beast. All right, it's the RFID micro C-hip that you see in this photo that I have queued up for you. And let me say this while it's on my mind to say too as well, because prophecy is moving full speed ahead. All right, Elon Musk has also implanted 2 more patients in Canada with the brain MOTB. All right, okay. Now, if you can recall, approximately about a year or so ago, he was approved in Canada to start practicing this on patients. Okay. Now, before I get back to this man's dream here, let me grab a few scriptures because it's outlined in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter on down. Okay, this is according to prophecy that the hopeful elect will have to move about the earth like pilgrims and hide in various places. All right, I'll read a few scriptures, then we'll get right back to this man's dream here. And it reads this: so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. I want to pause right there because you have to consider what's going to occur on the earth that's going to have one man desiring to see another man and to hear someone else's voice. That goes into your martial law, your FEMA camps, your alligator Alcatraz, and simply during this time period, many people are just simply going to get put to death. Verse 28, and it reads, for of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field. Here's the point: which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the cliffs of the rocks. And that's what that man is going to go to in his dream that he had there. But I'm going to read a few more precepts and get right back to that dream. Verse 29, and it reads, as in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Verse 31, even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. Now I want to go back to this dream here. And again, I'm going to play this in its entirety because he goes into great detail in what he experienced in this dream. And this dream is also a part of future prophecy, as we're going to delve into more in this particular lesson. And I hope through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, that this lesson is edifying. Let's get right into it.
Died. All the kids who went. Okay, I've never made a video like this before, and it's been eating at me inside to at least tell you guys what I've been seeing. I feel like last night God gave me a dream about the mark of the beast, and it was kind of a doozy. It was kind of scary. But I will tell you as best as I remember, because it gets a little intense, but bear with me. So I was in a classroom, I was in a school setting or something like that, and I remember the teachers came to us saying that we had to get this quick little surgical system inserted because it was the only way to stay a part of society, because if you don't, it's basically like an automatic way of declaring yourself as an full-out criminal, like you're the worst of the worst and they gotta get you. And automatically I knew what it was and I knew not to get it, and I was telling certain kids like, yo, don't get it, like if whoever I could talk to quietly and just be like, don't do it. And so we all had to walk from our classroom to the place to go get it done. As we were walking to that room, me and a few other kids just like took off into a certain direction and tried to start like hiding, like just we needed to hide. We knew we needed to hide. All the kids who went into that room I never saw again. Anyways, me and the kids who decided to run away were hiding in like the darkest corners and attics and crawl spaces of the building, of the facility, to, you know, not get caught, not get found, because if they found us, we knew it would be bad. Anyways, a little bit of a fast forward. I'm sitting in a room and I see an officer walk in with his daughter. And this does get a little graphic. I'm sorry if it freaks anybody out. But they were both talking to each other, and I could tell he's like trying to calm her down or something. And in comes a few more officers, and they ask him, like, why didn't you do it? Like, why didn't you take the system? And before he even really could respond, they pew-pewed both of them in the heads. Bam, done. And me and like one or two other kids are sitting in these like rafters, like dark corner of the roof, watching this happen and realizing that if they catch us, that we are gone. We are Dunyan rings. There's nothing to do about it. And it started getting really intense from here because it's a life or death situation at this point. So for hours, we are sitting in these corners of the rooms trying to hide and pretend like we're not there and, sneak around. And, whenever a new person walks in the room and starts to search our area, we had to kind of keep going and hiding. Basically a big game of cat and mouse. Fast forward a few more hours, it's already nighttime. There's no one in the facility other than officers looking for me and the other kids. And we all knew that if they catch us, we're done. We knew we needed to escape the facility, but there was not much we could do to get there, especially while there's people walking around. There was a few moments where I almost got caught along with a few other people, and the only thing that I could do, the only thing that I knew to do was to get the guy before he got me. So, whatever was nearby, clunk, that's the only thing I could do. In which we kept running and hiding, trying to, get away from these guys and just make sure we didn't get caught. Sadly, I watched one kid who wasn't a part of my group in the immediate time get caught. They pulled him down from the thing and pew, right then and there. And we all saw it. Trying to maintain our composure, we eventually did find a way out. We did get out of the facility and we sprinted into the nearby forest. Fast forward again, I enter another warehouse situation with a bunch of other people who didn't take the mark. And I remember that things were very, very on edge. There was almost no food, not a lot of weapons. We didn't really have anything. And I watched a group of girls run inside the building holding up a sign. It's 3, 2, 1. As soon as they put 0, they were hiding, and a truck pulls up with a bunch of people in it, a bunch of officers, and they get out and they start searching the area. And I knew the only thing that I could do was go and hide in the rafters again. I had to get up somewhere high and hide. And it was so scary because I was trying really hard not to knock anything over. In the area that I was in, there's a bunch of tools and stuff in this warehouse, and one little nut or screw falling off where I was would tell them, hey, come get me. It was pretty terrifying. And so anyways, I was up in the rafter. I got my way up there, and I watched these guys start to really search every single corner of this building, and it felt in my gut that it was only a matter of time before they find me. So I had to just keep hiding. I had to keep finding a way out. And then I woke up, and man, it felt really real. It felt extremely realistic, and there was some other details I won't go into because they were just a little bit more graphic, but it was real. It was there. I was there. And part of me just knows that when this mark actually comes, when the mark of the beast actually comes, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be at a point where if you take it, you're part of society, but you deny God. And if you don't take it, you will be. But again, I don't know. I'd rather go and be for my belief in God than be conformed to whatever society wants me to do. At least I know I'm going to the kingdom. There's been some other times I've had some really crazy dreams like this, and if you want me to share some of those too, please let me know in the comments and show some love on this post, because this is so far from anything I normally post. But it felt like I had to tell you guys, I had to warn you guys, because I do believe that this system is on its way out. It will be coming in our lifetimes. I don't know, man. At least I think. It's scary. But I do know.
We stop there. You get the point. But what happened with this man is outlined in Joel chapter 2, verse 28. And it just simply reads this: and it shall come to pass afterwards, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. Also, I will pour out, pardon me, and also on my manservants and on my maidservants I will pour out my spirits in those days. You see, and this man here, he could be potentially a speckled bird Israelite, okay? Because it's not about how we look, but it is about lineage, right? The man needs to cut his hair. But nevertheless, let's come out of this and let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, in the 35th verse on down, and it reads, hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. All right? Remember, the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning. Behold, verse 36, behold the word of the Lord, and receive it, and believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draweth nigh, and are not slacked, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her great birth pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child come forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Remember, this is the hour of trial. This is the hour of temptation. When this rolls out, this is going to test the entire world. Verse 40 is the point. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and in those days, in those evils, be even as what? Pilgrims upon the earth. You see, and pilgrims are known for doing what? For traveling, for moving around, moving about. And that's what the elect are going to have to do in that day, because for those of us that don't take that device, all right, we're not going to be a part of that system, okay? All right? And if we are of the elect, we're going to be steadfast, and we're not going to take that device. Let me come from here. Let me go to the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 22 through 23. And it reads this: And you will be hated by all for my name's sake, but he who endures unto the end will be saved. When they persecute you in this city, flee to another. For surely I say to you, you will not have gone through all the cities of Israel, before the Son of Man comes. And how are we going through all the cities of Israel now? By way of the internet. This gospel is being preached. This word is going out, all right? And the truth is spreading. It's permeating, all right? It's pervasive throughout the whole earth, okay? Let me come from here. And let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 10 through 11. And it reads this: Because as the man mentioned in his dream, for those that didn't take the device, they were being put to death, all right? And that's also a reality that we have to consider too as well. Essentially being put to death and or, having our heads chopped off for not taking this device. And how do we know this to be true? It's outlined in Revelation, the 6th chapter, in the 10th through the 11th verse, and it reads, And they cried with a loud voice, saying, now this is the elect that have passed away on this side, and now they're before the throne of the Lamb, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, doest thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Verse 11, And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. You see, it's part of prophecy that some of us are going to be put to death for our faith, our hope, and our trust being in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right? But for those of us who are of the hopeful elect, the scriptures tells us this: precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints, just roughly paraphrasing. And if we are of that number, we're going to endure, even if that means death. And I hope through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, that this quick lesson, it has been edifying. Shalom.
Technology has advanced to an extent where we use finger scans and face IDs full-fledgedly. But when it comes to implanting chips under the skin, it doesn't seem to have reached its full potential. The act still feels like a gimmick rather than a modern robotic human. And such is the scenario when this technology has already existed for many, many decades. Now, would you ever get an electronic chip under your skin? The chips planted under the skin tend to carry the RFID technology. Now, RFID, or radio frequency identification, enables technologies like tap to pay and subway cards. So in case you don't want to carry your bags and bank cards to pay, you can have such chips installed under your skin. One can also install sensors and avoid carrying keys to home and unlocking cars.